Bonjour tout le monde. Hi everyone. It's me, Ali, your fancy friend in Montreal. And today we're playing with some new beauty. I have new makeup here from Sisley, from Armani, and I also have some new makeup brushes. So I thought, let's just sit down and just try out all of these items and just have some fun. But before we go any further, let's take a second to grab our iced coffee or a hot coffee. Let's take a sip and let's get started. I have this new eyeshadow palette from Sisley called Tender Toffee. I've already done a full review of this product here, and this is what it looks like. It really is a no-brainer type of palette. It looks a little boring in the palette, but it looks very flattering on the eyes because it's just a bunch of neutrals, slightly warm leaning. I'm going to show you a swatch here in a moment. And then Armani sent me a couple of their liquid eyeshadows. I'm going to use this one here called 36M. The M stands for matte, but it's just like a really dark, rich chocolate brown. And it comes with a little wand applicator here. So I think that both of these together, this is what both of these products here are. I think they're just going to pair very nicely. I might create a nice little smoky eye. It could be fun. So this is what these two look like here. The other Armani liquid eyeshadows, I have them here. It's the 22M and then the 69S. I'll go ahead and swatch them, but I don't think I'll be using these today. This is 22 over here and then the 69. Honestly, they look similar to the palette, not quite the same, but they're in that neutral harmony of colors. So I think I could easily mix and match these together, but I'm going to go into this one today, the really dark brown, but I'm going to blend it out and I think it'll just be a nice smoky eye. All the brushes that I'm using, they're listed in the description box and I try my best to list them in order that I'm using them. So I actually have several of these Armani liquid eyeshadows. So when they offered to send it to me, I said, go ahead, please, thank you. What I like is the wand applicator. It's really narrow, and so you never get too much product. Sometimes with liquid eyeshadow, you get way too much and it's just a bit of a mess. So I don't even have to wipe off any excess here. Just going to place it pretty liberally. I'm going to do a smoky eye, so it's going to look a little crazy here. This is like a fluffy blending brush. Yeah, I'm going to use this one here. Don't worry, don't be shy. It's going to look insane just for a minute. So I'm using a more narrow brush like this just to blend this out. And then using a big fluffy brush, I'm just going to blend this out. And these, they dry quickly. So only do one eye at a time, like I'm doing here. Just blend this out. And I did apply an eyeshadow primer off camera before I even started. I always go into an eyeshadow primer. I have very hooded and oily eyelids. So if I don't put an eyeshadow primer, it's like I put nothing on a few hours later. So this is the Hourglass one. That's the one I'm really into. I might try the MAC eyeshadow primer. I've heard that one's good too. But yeah, I always put some sort of primer first because otherwise it literally disappears. Now I'm going to use a separate, the point of this is to use a bunch of separate brushes. The first one is really narrow and tapered. It's the Rephr 14. That just sort of diffuses everything. And then a bigger fluffy one, this is the Rephr 15, really just blends it all out lightly. And now I'm going into another separate Rephr 15. It's good to use separate brushes for separate steps so you don't end up with too much. And I'm going to actually mix both of these. I want to go into the matte colors here. So I'm just going like this, getting both. And I'm knocking the excess off on a tissue because it's much easier to add makeup than it is to remove. And I'm just going to help with the blending here. I'm basically just going over top of what I laid down with the liquid shadow. And without adding anything on these brushes, I'm taking the ones that I used on top and just dragging them on the bottom lashes here. There is still residual product, just like that. Now I'm going to do all of those same steps on this eye here. Now for the next step, I'm going into an eyeliner, and I'm going into a Victoria Beckham eyeliner. I love these so much. I have several colors, and I'm going into Fig, which is a beautiful plummy purple color. It's great for fall. Now, normally I would go into a brown just to go into this whole color family, but I actually think this is going to go nicely. And so I love the Victoria Beckham eyeliners. I think you should go for an eyeliner that's like a kohl or something very creamy, not necessarily like a waterproof one, because sometimes those don't smudge. We want it to smudge in the right place, of course, but we want it to melt like butter into the eyeshadow and melt together. And I have very brown eyes, but something about this eyeliner sort of turns them a little bit hazel. It transforms them a little bit. So I'm going to go generously with this eyeliner. I'm going to go in the waterline on top and bottom, and then I'm going to smudge this on the top lash line. Then taking a pencil brush, I'm going into the deeper color here, the more brown one, and I'm going to smudge this color and the eyeliner together. And they're just going to melt together. It won't even necessarily look like I'm wearing a purple eyeliner, because I mean, purple and brown go well together and they just melt together. I'm going very, very lightly with my eyeliner. Look at how I'm holding it. Holding it very lightly, just a few fingertips, just like this. I'm not scrubbing it in, you know, anything like that. Just very lightly. And going over top again with that pencil liner and that dark chocolate brown. And there is a bit of fallout. We're going to fix all of that in a minute. I added a ton of the YSL Lash Clash mascara. Just going with a great one. I love this one. I think I've bought this like 5 or 6 times at this point. It's so good. But I think black goes well because we're doing brown and a little bit of purple. So I'm going with the classic black. Now I'm going to use a little bit of eye cream. Use a sample of eye cream or eye serum or whatever. And use a Q-tip. And then you're just going to roll this skincare, eye care on the back of your hand like this. And you're going to clean it up. And listen, I say this every time. And every time there's a new person who's never seen this before. I have pretty sensitive, dry skin around my eyes. So if I'm going to use makeup remover, I've already done my skincare. I've already done all the layers of skincare by now. So if I'm just going in with makeup remover, I am essentially washing off everything that I applied earlier. First of all, that stuff is expensive. And I took my time in the morning, so why would I wipe it off? There's a part here that isn't quite blending the way that I want to, so I'm just going to leave it for now and maybe re-examine it later, or I don't know. Sometimes it's just best to leave it alone and then go back and look at it again. So for the complexion, I'm going to use the Armani Skin Tint. This is fantastic. It's super lightweight. I'm using the shade M4. So it's a skin tint. It's not going to hide lots of blemishes, but if you like your skin but better, breathable, lightweight, just a very light wash, this is definitely for you. And then L'Oreal sent me the True Match Lumi Glotion. Now, what is a glotion? Unclear. This is a natural glow enhancer. I've been testing this out for weeks, but this new to me anyway, the Glotion. It reminds me of the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Blur filter. You could use this on its own, but it's pretty shimmery. I think that both of these products are not for oily skin. If you have normal skin, dry skin, dehydrated skin, these are for you, especially this one here. I'll give you a swatch, and what I'll do is I'll put the Glotion on one side, and then I'll layer the Armani Skin Tint on the other side. And on this side, I'll just use the Armani Skin Tint so you can sort of see how they work. The Glotion here is Medium Glow 903. So this is the texture. It's not super fluid. It's like a slight gel. and this is what it looks like here. It's very concentrated, but it has that like very glowy finish. I would think of it almost like a primer. You could wear it under a foundation, which is what I'm going to do today, or like a very sheer wash and then do a little bit of concealer and mascara for like a no makeup day. And then the skin tint here, this is very fluid. It's very runny. I'll do a little swatch here. I'll show you the texture. It's liquid. Think of like, oh, a serum. It's really going everywhere here. But this is just like a serum skin tint. It is in the foundation category, but it's very lightweight. So I'm just gonna clean up the back of my hand and be back in a moment. So this side I have decided is going to have the Glotion. One of you on Instagram was like, what's a Glotion? I was like, what, we're gonna find out, but this is what it looks like here. This one is the medium shade. It has a little bit of color, but honestly, not much. It's more glow. And it's not a liquid highlighter. I guess you could technically use it as a liquid highlighter, but it's not like a chunky glitter. So you can sort of see how that looks there in comparison to this side here. The side here is just skincare, so there's no makeup yet. I think it's subtle. I think you can see a little bit more glow here, especially than here. But I would wear this on it. I would wear this on its own. It's not that bad. And now let's do, it's M4. Sorry, that's the skin tint here. I'll do this. 1.5 pumps. It's very liquid. It runs just like a serum. So it's not going to cover tons of breakouts, or it depends, like, you know, this is a very sheer coverage. I like a sheer coverage. I like my skin but better. I honestly don't care if you can still see imperfections. I want to unify a little bit, but that's about it. And I just realized I made a mistake. I used this brush to blend out the Glotion, and then I used it to blend out both sides. Well, oops, sorry guys. But I think you can still see that this side here has more glow than this one. Like this one, I think they both look good, but if you want that a little bit more lit from within glow, go with the Glotion primer beforehand. Otherwise, I mean, I wear the skin tint on its own all the time. I think it's great. If you just want like an extra boost of glow underneath, maybe do both. I'm actually going to prime my lips before we go any further. I'm going into the Lip Glow in the classic 01 shade. This one here, they have a lot of colors, which I love, but this one sort of reacts to your skin, or your lips pH in a slightly pink color. It's also very buttery and very hydrating, which is nice. Now let's do a little bit of face powder. Let's go into a deep cut. Who remembers the Chantecaille Hummingbird face powder? They still make the powder, it just doesn't have this compact here. I love this. I think I should do like a forgotten favorites, like a deep cut, like go into the back of the drawer and the products that I was obsessed with 4 years ago. I'm going to use this, and I'm actually using a new brush here from Rephr. It's technically a face powder, blush, contour, anything you want. I've been using it for a few days. I used it and I washed it. I just put a bit more powder on it. It reminds me of the 04, but it's less dense. So this is the 04. I love this one. I have multiples. It's great. It's just like a perfect cheek brush. But then this one here has the same angle. I love a cheek brush that's at a bias like this. So this one is just like, the bristles are a little bit more versatile. You can see they're a little bit more flexible and soft. So I've been using it for a face powder because it's just like you can just sort of squish in there and pick up a bunch of product. And you know what? I'm going to use a little bit of this face powder on a clean blending brush here just to see if that'll help a little bit. Yeah, I think so. Just a little bit. It's annoying, but sometimes your eyelid or I don't know, you just get like a little patch of product that doesn't really want to cooperate, and that's kind of just it. You know what? I don't even know what I'm thinking. I put powder on, but I want to put concealer first. I was like, my under eye could be a little bit brighter. Yes, it could because I forgot to put on concealer. I'm going to go into my Chanel Sublimage in the shade 32. This is not new, neither is that powder, but this is good. I have another concealer that I think I like better, but I need to use this one up. So let me just put on some concealer. It's a little bit much here. There we go. Under eye is a little bit brighter than before. So I'm going to use this blush here from RMS Beauty. This is not new, but really love it. It's the one called Crystal Slipper. It's like your cheek, but better. Jump scare. This is a very well-loved blush, but yeah, it's just like your cheek, but better. It's not really pink, not really brown, just perfect. And I'm going to use the same brush that I used before. I just tapped off some of the powder because I love the sort of angle for like, or angle size for a brush. I just find it so good for the cheek. So I'm just going to tap some on here. Rephr also sent me a couple other brushes. They sent me the Eyeshadow 05, which is really good for blush like I just did, but I like it better for cream. I just think it's a really good blush brush for cream, but I just, there's something about the angle that I'm like, no. I like the little bias cut like this for the cheek. But in the Eyeshadow grouping here, the package, there's also the Eyeshadow 06, which is technically for eyeshadow. Like it says to use it to smudge liquid eyeshadow or cream, like eyeliner, which I just did. But actually, I think I'm going to try to use it for lip liner because it's a makeup brush. I can play with it. You know, it's makeup, not tax law. I can do what I want. And I want something bold, but not too bold because I do have this smoky eye going on. And I have this Sisley lip color in a 22 Rose Punch. This is so pretty. It's a red, but it has a little bit more pink berry. It's stunning. I think it might be a little much with the smoky eye. So what I'll do is I'll do a contour and then blend it out. And then with this buttery lip balm here, it's going to look really pretty. I'm going to actually just load up the back of my hand here. And then I'll pick up the product with the brush. I want to take away a little bit of the shine just because this is a little bit more of a matte smoky eye. I think bringing this down a little bit will just make it a bit more natural. So I'm just taking a tissue here. Just like that. Now for the fragrance, I'm going into Kilian Angel Share. I love this fragrance. I have the box somewhere behind me, but the actual perfume here. This is a heavy hitter. A few years ago, I went to Scotland and I did a Scotch tasting, and they make different types of scotches, clearly, like they make wine. And there are certain types of scotch, which I prefer, that are made inside the barrel of a former sherry cask, which is the type of scotch that I like. And this perfume reminds me of that. It's cinnamon, it's spice, it has that deep, sweet, alcoholic smell, but in a good way. Like, you know the way that dried fruits, dried plums smell, especially if you make certain types of rum, you can actually, I think it's called like a rhum arrangé. They make it in like the French Caribbean islands. They add macerated dried fruits to rum. It has that sweet, boozy smell that smells amazing. It does not smell like booze on you, I promise, but there's some notes there that remind me of that I think smells amazing. So I'm going to do a little bit of this because this is a very strong perfume, and my office is going to smell like this. You're not supposed to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. And my office is going to smell like this, at least for a day. I swear it smells like apple pie or like apple crumble, apple crisp, like the sweet apple cinnamon baked good gooiness. And anyway, that's what I want to smell like apparently. So this is it. This is the finished look. There's still like a weird patchiness here that I'm not a huge fan of, but whatever. C'est la vie. Who cares? You know, it just happens. But I think I'm a huge fan of the skin tint. The Armani skin tint. I like the Me But Better. I want to just look like I'm not actually wearing makeup, even though I'm wearing a ton. I like a mysterious smoky eye, and I really like putting that fig eyeliner wrapped around everywhere. It really does lighten my dark brown eyes in a fun way. It's just fun to play with makeup just to see how different you can look just for the day, and then it washes off and you're back to your true form. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed this demo of a bunch of different products, different brushes. Let me know in the comments what you want me to test out next. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, you're missing out. I do a lot of reviews and tutorials, but I will also always be there to remind you to use up what you already have. We did talk about new products, but I also slipped in some classics, some old favorites that you probably already own and you should use up before you buy anything new. So if that sounds interesting, make sure you're subscribed. But on that note, that's all I have for you guys for today. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.